everyone, hope you are doing well. I have finally started working on my December daily. I don't think I started until right around the 15th or 16th of this month. It has just been, I don't know, just kind of weird this year. I've taken some pictures, not definitely as many as I have in past years, just because we don't have as much going on with everything going on. And so I just don't have a lot of pictures. It's just been kind of weird. I don't know. I haven't been super motivated to do things. So I've gotten a really, really late start. So because of that, I kind of want to do something fun at the beginning to kind of get me in the spirit and the mood of doing this project. So I'm going to be working on this Fa La 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 page here. And you can see I already have a cut file done. So I cut that and then I backed it with some of the, I think, Snow and Cocoa paper. And I use that and I am going to be adding it to the edge of this vellum sheet. So you can see here, I'm just kind of measuring things up. I want to make sure that the vellum only goes partially across the 6 by 8 page. I think it's like 6 1/4 by 8 1/2 or something like that. And I don't want any of the vellum showing through like the middle of the cut file. So I'm just going to be tracing that and then I'll trim that all out so that you can't see the pieces of vellum in between the cut file. And then I'll cut, or not cut, I'm sorry, I'll glue the cut file then on the edge of this sheet. And so what I'm ultimately making is a little shaker pocket. So you'll kind of see how this comes together here in a minute. I'll unfold it. I'm going to use some liquid adhesive just to make sure that all the seams and everything are sealed because I don't want any of the sequins and things that I'll put in the shaker to come out of these holes. I'm just using my fine liner bottle here. It has some Scotch Quick Dry in it, and that works pretty well. With vellum and stuff like that, I don't tend to use liquid adhesive because of it kind of warping, and it kind of makes the edges and things like that pucker up. But because I want to make sure there's a really nice seal and I wanted a thin line around those edges, I decided to use the liquid adhesive because you wouldn't be seeing that because the cut file is going to be added on top. So now basically I am just looking how I want to do this, and I'm going to add the dry adhesive then to add the cut file, and then that way you're not going to have that puckering that you get with the wet adhesive on the vellum. So this year I am doing things just a little differently. I didn't get a kit or anything. I did decide just to use everything that I had in my stash. I've gotten Allie Edwards kits several years in a row. Last year I did a junk journal type of album and I used a lot of older ephemera and things like that, and just a combination of things. Because I have so much stuff in my stash, I thought I would just use what I had and just kind of make an eclectic mix. I didn't want to think too much about the project this year, just want to have fun and use what I have in my stash, not spend a ton of money on that as well. So you'll see through these pages that I'm going to be making it, there'll be some pastel colors, there are going to be some more traditional reds and greens, and I'm okay with that. I definitely was okay with just this more eclectic look this year. So you can see there I added the cut file and I wanted to back it. I didn't want to see the back of this part. So I am just adding some adhesive here and I cut out another fa la 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 on the cut file, just making sure I didn't have any open spaces, and then that backs it nicely so it just has a more finished look. And it didn't match up quite exactly, but that's okay. It still works for the page. So hopefully you guys are doing well. Like I said, I definitely have a late start on this project. I don't think I'll probably posting all the pages this year on my YouTube channel, but I will hopefully get definitely a few more up than I have now because this is the first one. But it's just been, like I said, it's just been a little rough, just things going on, stuff like that. Haven't had a lot of mojo. So hopefully I'll get a few more pages up here for you guys before Christmas and you'll enjoy what I have up. If you have any questions about anything I'm using, I can definitely try to look those things up. Like I said, these are items that I've had in my stash for quite some time. Some of it I'll know and I'll try to bring that up when I'm voicing the video. But if I don't know or if I don't mention it, you can definitely ask and I can try to look that information up. Right now I'm just taking sequins from my stash and I'm making a little mixture. I had these really cute pink snowflake ones and I'm using a lot of the round ones. I used some gold star sequins as well, or a little, I don't know, confetti bits. So I'm just going to go through here and find the colors that I think look really nice with these colors on the Snow and Cocoa paper. So I'll have some clear, some blue, some silver and white, and then the gold. And then what I'm going to end up doing is I will sew around the entire edge of the pocket or the vellum, and then I'll make a pocket, and then that's where I will tip in and pour in all of the little sequins on here. So I'm just finishing up, found a couple more stars that I thought would look pretty with the same colors, and then I'll give that a little bit of a mix, and then sew the page. So you can see here all the edges are sewn. I left a little bit at the very, very top, which probably would have been better if I left it at the bottom, because when you sew the little bit up that needs to be sewn once the sequins are in, it's not as pretty. So it probably would have looked a little bit nicer at the bottom, but it's okay. It'll all work out. So now I'm just going to pour these in, and I will save you watching me do that. So I'll just show you a little bit, and then I will fast forward to them all being in there, because you can see here they didn't go in as nicely as I would liked. So I'm just trimming up the thread here, and you can see it shakes really well. I was worried because sometimes the sequins gets really staticky, and I don't know if it just wasn't very staticky in my room or what, but it did not stick to the pocket as much as I thought it might. So I was pretty happy about that. So you can see here, this is just going to be the first page. I really like how it looks, how it shakes around and things like that. So I thought that turned out pretty cute. So now I'm going to work on this photo here, and this is just a photo of our Christmas tree, and I do have another photo that I'm going to be putting in here of me and my daughter in front of the tree. I just don't have it printed yet. That will go on the back side of this page. So I have some of these papers. I think they might all be from past Ellie Edwards kits. I know the first two on the left are, but I'm not quite sure about the green one. That might have been a Simple Stories, but I'm just trying to audition, trying to figure out which one I think would look better. It took me a bit. I fast forward some of this to try to figure out which one I wanted, but ultimately I ended up picking that kind of spruce paper with the berries on it. I liked the red pops in it, and I thought it went well with some of the red accents you can see in the tree, and I just like that a lot better. So I'm going to stick with that one, and I thought I might use this magic kind of almost like a acetate piece, but I didn't like how it looks. So I'm going to just stick with the wood veneer piece, and then I'm going to pull out some of these snowflakes that I embossed. This one was just a red glitter emboss, and then I have this one that's gold, and then ultimately I'm going to pull out a little white snowflake that I'm going to put kind of towards the top left of that circle wood veneer piece. I'm going to go look through. I'm going to try a couple different things to see what I like best, but I think this little white guy here that I just set down is going to look the best. It's just going to stick there on the wood veneer piece. And I do try a few other things, but ultimately, like I said, I think the white one looks good with this, and I didn't want to keep messing with it. I did try out several different things. So I'm pretty happy with this here, and what I want to do now is I want to back the photo, and I'm going to take some tissue paper that I had in my stash, probably from a Christmas present from last year, and I'm going to back the photo with that tissue paper. I like this poinsettia one, but I just thought it was a bit much with the background, so I'm just going to go for this red tissue paper instead. And I just will tear this out with the ruler because I do want kind of a fuzzier edge. I didn't want a real clean edge that a scissors or a trimmer would give. So I'm just going to line that up and then rip that out. So I really like how that looks, and I'm just going to glue that photo down on the tissue paper. Just making sure I'm happy with the placement. I don't know why, I struggled with this little cluster here for quite some time. I don't know why, I just kept messing with it. But finally, I moved on, and I will end up gluing that down here in a second. So just adding the photo to the tissue paper. I'm just trying to figure out which way that piece of paper should go. And then when I add the glue to the tissue paper, that adhesive runner that I have on the right hand side, I did rip up the tissue paper, so I ended up using my ATG gun. That ended up working pretty well and didn't rip up the tissue paper. I do want to add a bit more gold here to the cluster, and I use this gold metallic thread. Metallic thread, I'm sure I've said this in a video before, has a mind of its own. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't want to work, so I play with it quite a bit. Finally get it the way I want, and just kind of lay it down and then glue my wood veneer piece over it, just so some of that is peeking out. I just wanted some little extra texture here on this kind of corner of the photo because it's very dark with the lights off in the basement where we have our tree. So I thought that would give a nice little pop behind the circle wood veneer piece. Just using my adhesive there to glue that on. And then I will add the snowflakes. Because the snowflakes are pretty thick in the middle, I just add a little bit of adhesive in the middle, and you can't see the adhesive through, so it works just fine for this. So now I'm just gluing that sheet down. Like I said, I used the ATG gun because it ended up not ripping the tissue as easily. And I'm pretty happy with this. I'm going to try a couple different ruffles. These are just scrap pieces of scrap fabric that my mom had given me. She quilts and things like that, and she had some extra scraps. So I told her not to throw those away and give those to me. So I end up cutting them into strips or ripping them into strips and then sewing them to make little ruffles. I really think those are cute, the ruffles, but it just doesn't seem to work on this page. Actually, now looking at it, I think it might have looked cute on this right-hand side, but I just decided that it just wasn't going to work for this page, and I'm just going to leave that off for now. You'll see the ruffles, I'm sure, on a different page because I really think those are cute. And I did want to add the year here, so I'm just found these Allie Edwards December Daily Gold numbers, and I'm just going to write or glue down the year 2020. And I thought about doing 2020 instead of just 20, but I thought this would be fine. So that is it. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you are having a wonderful holiday season, and I will be back soon. Have a great day. Bye, everyone.